the answers, tell me the answers. I could find you, I could find
From the Sporting News Studios, this is Hot Corner with your host, Matt Latevsky.
I got all the answers, all the answers. I could find you, I could find all the answers. If you let me get it close and study you.
Yeah, the Hot Corner back again. We need something zippy. I need to have a thing.
Like, what do you mean?
Like something zippy after the announcement.
Oh.
I need to be like, boom, catchphrase.
Yeah, this was the opposite of coming in hot.
Yeah.
You just came in real.
That was pretty hot.
Yeah,
I actually said the word hot. That's kind of hot.
That's about as. Nah.
Matt Latevsky here, Eric Ferreira, fantasy baseball enthusiast. And,
Still looking for an upgrade on
and
that.
DAZN employee. That's you got that part.
Cool. I'm an employee here. Yes.
We know that you work here. That's all people need to know. We're going to go over some waiver pickups. We're going to go over some streamers for the upcoming around the weekend or the next few days. We're going to talk closers because that's the most important thing always. We like to save that to the end.
We're
Keep
saving
people
it to the end.
listening.
All right.
Yeah, let's save it to the end. Closers because
I have a feeling we're going to be talking about these same. We
added some this week.
Yeah, but there's gonna be 5 that we talk about every week.
We really blew it out last week, and this week probably be a little shorter. But we got a bunch of the same ones, but we got a few new ones. That's
I kind of like talking closers though. As much as I hate chasing them, I always chase them.
Well, it's fun because it's all theoretical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're gonna go over some other stuff when we get into it here. First and foremost, you just introduced me to a player I didn't know existed.
Who's that?
Dick Lovelady.
Oh, Richard Lovelady.
Dick Lovelady,
yeah.
Kansas City Royals reliever.
Uh-huh.
That's a real person.
Yep.
23-year-old lefty.
He had no choice as to what his name. I'm sure he goes by Richard.
Yeah, Richie. You have to, right? Lovelady, Dick Lovelady. So he's a good one. Because we were laughing about their starter. Was it Phil Meyer, not Phil Myers, but Phil Meyer.
I was like, oh, there's a Phil Myers?
And I saw the H because I was looking at it on DraftKings. I thought, that's got to be Hunter. It's Heath.
Heath?
I don't like that
Heath
name.
Screams middle reliever.
Yeah, Heath.
Yeah.
That's not a good
I'd
name.
rather start a Hunter. Well, Hunter is probably a good closer, but...
Yeah, if you're a Hunter, you gotta be lights out reliever. Anything else? I mean, what have you noticed the past few days in the baseball world? Any funny anecdotes from your baseball watching experience?
Funny? I don't know about funny. You know what? Here's all I get into.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, we're probably at some point going to make fun of Chris Davis and his over.
See, I'm not. I feel bad for him.
But here's my thing. This is actually my bigger thing because I noticed it in the Red Sox game yesterday. Players that aren't great hitters refusing to change when there's an extreme shift on. Okay, so Chris Davis, 0 for whatever, right? Now, last year what did he hit last year? 16 homers?
Yeah.
Right, so he went up there every time. He's like, I'm gonna be stubborn. I'm gonna swing because I'm a power hitter. But he hit 16 homers, so 16 at-bats, that went well for him, right?
Okay.
Like that, and this year, no at-bats have gone well for him.
I mean, he had other hits.
Not this year.
Not this year.
So
no.
let's say he bunts against a shift.
He had 32 extra base hits last year.
Okay, including the 16.
Or no,
homers.
I'm sorry. He had 28 last year.
But including the 16.
Right.
So and
12
how many played? We won't even say played. How many at-bats?
At-bats, 470.
Okay, so in 470 opportunities, 28 times things...
He walked 41 times.
Right, but he can walk whether he's trying to bunt the other way or not.
All right.
So 40-something times things went well.
4 sack flies.
Like, just ridiculous. So let's say he bunts to third base.
Gets some singles.
Gets a single, right? Team probably doesn't change the shift, right?
51.
How many times would it take for another team to throw a guy over there?
I don't know if they ever would.
Like, what if he 15 successful times in a row?
How many bunts would he botch, though, trying to do that?
I mean, he can practice in batting practice. Came up yesterday in the Red Sox game.
And he clogs the base pass.
Jackie Bradley Jr., same deal. Extreme shift. Now, he's got good speed, should know how to bunt. And they're down, I forget what they were down at the time. They were down 1 or 2 runs at a time. I think they were down 1. So they need a guy on base. Like,
he had a homer and tie it then.
No, he's not going to. Go look at his numbers. How often is he going to hit a home run?
Oh.
Again, I think he had what, 15, 16 homers last year?
I had 26 that 1 year.
That 1 year. But like, dude,
wait, he's a lefty.
It's a late game,
right?
Yeah.
Just hook it around pesky pull.
Stop. It's a late game situation. You need 1 run. They're giving you an entire half of the field.
Hit a homer. Be a hero.
Whatever. I can't take the shift.
Down 2, I'm with you. Get on base.
I can't take.
Schwarber did that earlier this year, late in the game.
What would it take? Like, what if one of these power hitters that was sick of being shifted? What if they did 10 times in a row? What if Chris Davis bunted 10 times in a row and got on base 8 of them? That's better than he's doing with his regular approach.
You're just taking the bat out of the hand of your best power hitter.
Come on now.
Well, I mean, he's not.
But are you? Until they put someone over there and then you start swinging away. They don't even think about bunting. It drives me insane.
All right. No, I agree.
I just want to see some guy bunt like literally 10 times. Just be completely.
You know who would do that? Joey Votto.
Just be completely stubborn about it and be like, I'm going to do it again.
Right.
I'm going to do it again. Like that kid playing Madden that just runs the same play over and over and has no shame. Just keep doing it.
That kid's an asshole, though.
Like, just do it. Like, I was even thinking Billy Hamilton should just bunt like 10 times in a row. He can't hit.
See Billy Hamilton last night? Scoring from second on that sac fly?
I did that once, but, no one talked about it.
You did that once? Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
It actually happens in slow pitch softball. A lot of fields don't have fences.
I'm sure it does.
Well, a lot of fields don't have fences, so you can fly out really deep.
Right. Yeah. That was, it was a Malik Smith, right? It was in center. He kind of fell when he caught it. He clearly didn't think it was even a possibility. And the Royals, they had scouted and they were like, this is a lollipop arm. Right. Come on.
Right.
We can score.
And also, speaking of the Royals, let's shout out Terrence Gore for grabbing a hit the other night.
Big base knock the other night. 1 for 1. I didn't see it. Came around, scored a run.
So he's 1 for 1 this year.
Billy Hamilton's actually started hitting since we tore him to shreds last week.
Maybe that's what. Well, you know what? If Chris Davis turns it on after this podcast,
Chris Davis just starts bunting,
then we know
there's a pipeline.
Then we got it.
Well, you talk about big fat lefty power hitters. Chris Davis really ain't fat anymore. He lost a lot of weight. I think he was never really fat, but he was big.
Yeah,
but
big boned.
Big fat guy though, Dan Vogelbach. We're getting to some of the waiver pickups. Possible waiver pickups. We looked through the different sites, who was the most added. It's always tough to it's tough to calibrate this stuff because there's so many different types of leagues and how and why people are adding it. Like you see the pitchers who are added, and the most added are going to be 2-start guys for the weekly leagues, or they're going to be the one-day streamers, the guys you just pitch. So it's always tough to know who's really sort of rising and being picked up, and people are viewing as maybe a long-term play, as opposed to just a guy to stream. But we looked through the numbers. We tried to find guys who were 50% owned or less, sort of across the board, and are being picked up by a lot. Some of these, probably gone in your league. Some might not be, depending how deep your league is. But Dan Vogelbach is a guy whose name kept coming up. He's on a tear. He's hitting the ball. 864 ISO as of this recording, 600 BABIP. He's killing the ball. And it's just, you look at him, he looks like a softball player. Is this the kind of guy you think, hey, I think this could be a dude long term?
Here's the problem with him. There's really nowhere for him to play consistently.
That is a big problem.
So they've got let's call Encarnacion the DH.
Right.
You've got your 3 outfielders are solid in Santana, Malik Smith, and Haniger. And then you've got Bruce at first. Now, you think, okay, platoon partner, but him and Bruce are both lefty. Mm-hmm. So someone would have to, and Bruce has got 7 homers already. Now he's not hitting the ball for average.
He's he's like one of the lowest BABIPs in the entire league. So he's sort of interesting.
So they can't, there's not a straight platoon situation there. That's my only reservation with him is how can he's going to have to outright win that job. Mm-hmm. And he's proven in the past that he's not really going to.
You look at it here, he started the last 3 games. They had their last game. Trying to figure out
Haniger last night off.
Right. He was off last night. Malik Smith was off the night before. And the night before that, they gave Bruce the night off. So they seem to want him in the lineup.
Well, obviously they're trying to strike while they aren't as hot as well.
Right. These were all righties they faced. So again, you mentioned both him and Bruce lefties, so I don't know how that changes things, but
even looking at his minor league numbers, or even
his
major and minor league numbers combined, 2018, 24 homers total. 2017, 17 homers. 16, 23. So, yeah, I mean, he's hitting over 20 in the minors. He's not hitting 30.
Yeah.
I'm
He's 26.
I'm lukewarm on him.
6 feet, 250 is what he's listed at.
That's
big boy.
Stocky.
Husky. That's a big boy. Yeah, this is just a dude. He's just doing it. This is his stretch, and that's it. I'm not excited. Now, they are a team. We know they were trying to trade Encarnacion. I mean, he could be gone at any point. And it makes no sense for them to have Edwin Encarnacion on their team. A guy like Vogelbach.
Well, except that they're 11-2.
Well, I know. Actually, yeah, I take that back. I do. I have to take that back now. And they're going to be, quote unquote, in contention for a while for at least that second wildcard spot. So maybe it does.
Yeah.
But I still do think there's a trade. I think they're trade candidates. All those guys are trade candidates. Bruce and Encarnacion.
They're always trying to trade people out of town.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not always trying
You're
to
always like...
I'm just trying to be a realist.
When we talk about this stuff, we talk about our home run pool. So like, oh, that guy's going to get traded and be a platoon player. Just everybody.
Votto's going to get traded.
Like, oh, they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him and they'll be a platoon guy.
Yeah, that's going to get traded.
Or you think that
Trumbo,
or someone that's going to...
We didn't pick him.
Or someone that's going to win a job. Oh, they're not going to have that job long because they'll trade for someone.
Right.
You're always the Yankees, you know, they won't keep Voit and Bird. No.
You kidding me?
They're going to trade.
Suckers play.
You're looking for these trades.
I'm always looking for trades.
You're a big trade machine guy.
But Vogelbach, I mean, it's kind of funny. I feel like now he's having his stretch, and pretty soon he's going to slow down, obviously, and then it's going to be, playing time's really spotty. You're going to dump him. And then once these trades inevitably start happening, he's going to be back, and I think he'll have a big finish, but there's going to be about 3.5 months in between where he's almost useless.
I mean, the thing is, you can probably find a guy on your waiver wire.
Oh, you can find a Vogelbach.
Like him that's going to hit 20 homers. I mean, there's people like Hunter Renfroe out there who's probably not on the team. Your boy.
Hunty? He's hitting them, man.
There's guys that can hit 20.
He should be playing every day.
Doesn't Dan Vogelbach sound like a catcher?
I mean, I don't know how he's not.
Yeah, if he was a catcher, I'd pick him up.
Yeah, I would too. All right, here's another guy. Hot start. Dansby Swanson. Post hype. Classic. You know, we highlighted him as a sleeper preseason. It wasn't highly drafted, though. Still available in a lot of leagues. So he's interesting to me just because his BABIP is very normal. It's actually a little below average, and he's hitting well over 300. His walks are way up. His power's way up, and now he's
Ks are down.
Ks are down. You know, that stuff's gonna fluctuate, even out. We're still so early, but
it's funny. We both looked up the same stuff because I actually had all those things too. And I'm gonna throw in another one. Line drive percentage up, small sample, 20 to 32%.
There you go. So he's hitting the hard. Now he's moved up to 6th in the lineup. I think feasibly about the highest he can go, barring injury, is 5th. I don't see those top 4 changing as long as they're healthy. It'll be as Donaldson, Freeman, and Acuna. Right?
Yep.
That's the top 4. So 5th, okay. 5th is good. That's a good lineup. If he's hitting 5th, he'll produce. Even 6th, I think, is okay for him. It's if he drops back down to that 7-8 NL death spot.
I mean, this guy was a highly touted prospect.
He was the number 1 pick.
Even last year.
Get much more high than that.
136 games last year. Hit 14 homers, stole 10 bases.
Yeah.
It's funny. Back in the day, you'd take that. You'd be pretty happy from your shortstop for that. So I think there's room for improvement there.
I'd poop my pants if my shortstop had those numbers.
But I have a question for you though. Who would you rather have, Swanson or Jorge Polanco?
Oh boy,
because I've got that
cycles.
I've got that decision in my league. I want to pick one of them up.
I do. It's obviously I like the Twins. It's not just that. I just this was a guy who before the suspension looked pretty good. Last year was you start 81 games in the hole, you're going to be a little up and down. That Twins offense isn't bad.
He's batting what, 2nd and 3rd?
Yeah. So I do like him a little more. But I mean, I wouldn't, if someone was like, I like Swanson more, I'd say, yeah, I don't blame him.
All right, so
that's fine.
So for the 5x5 categories, between those two guys, who has more of each? What do you think?
Well, I mean, you have to give Polanco runs, right? Because he's hitting higher.
Okay.
You probably then give Swanson RBIs.
Okay.
Batting average, I guess I'd give it to Swanson, but it's pretty close.
I actually think Polanco's probably safer batting average based on his old numbers and stuff.
I mean, maybe.
He's more of a solid, I feel good about him hitting 280.
I guess I'm looking at Swanson just more of like if this is the breakout type thing. Power, probably pretty close. Probably Swanson. I guess now I've given Swanson 3. Maybe I should have said Swanson. And then steals, I think's about a wash. I'd probably give Polanco just because I think they might run a little more.
So I feel like I need to pick up one of these guys this weekend. Not really to start, but to just have an infielder on backup. Right. And I have this exact decision to make. So you're saying Polanco.
Well, I mean, if we're just talking, you're in a weekly league, I'd want to see their schedules and et cetera, because I don't know if either of those guys are long term.
Right.
They both definitely could be, but that's a tough one.
I like Polanco a touch more too, but I think Swanson, he's not going to be the top shortstop.
Most people would opt for the guy that they feels on the better team and that has the name value. So I think most people would opt for Swanson.
But it's the Twins are interesting though. I mean, see what they did to DeGrom last night. I know
my boy Mitch Garver.
But here's the thing: they have guys in that lineup.
Can we real quick? I know people don't want to hear about other people's fantasy teams. They definitely don't want to hear about DFS. They really don't want to hear about DFS guys you didn't take.
Right.
I had Mitch Garver on my original lineup. I had Garver and Pinder and Profar, and I started tugging strings.
I don't know why you'd ever take Garver, Pinder, or Profar.
And those three combined, I forget now exactly what they were, but it was like 11 for 15.
20 ribbies last night.
Yeah, 3 homers, a ridiculous amount of, I don't know how I somehow had wound up with 0 of them on my team, and I instead wound up with Jeff Mathis. And
you should never end up with Jeff Mathis.
Well, I wanted a piece of that game, that Rangers D-backs game.
Yeah.
And I guess I thought Mathis was the key. I don't know. And then I got Odor. I wound up getting 2 pieces of that game.
Odor laid a bunt down.
Yeah.
He actually went in the first, though. It was funny. The pitcher he was shifted. Pitcher comes diving off the mound toward third, thinking that's what he's doing, and he drags it to first, and
it's all about tendencies, man.
Nobody home.
And I just completely, like I said, Freddie Peralta imploded anyway. It might not have mattered, but just those 3. I had Alonso too. I mean, offense alone might have gotten me some money out of that thing.
You're so smart. Can you set up a DFS team for me?
I'm smart and then super dumb.
Yeah. Can you set one up for me then don't touch it the rest of the night?
Invest in me. All right, let's move on. This is another one. It's another classic. Is it Yandy? Is it Yandi?
It's Yandy, isn't it?
It is for sure?
No, not
you
for
bet
sure.
money?
I call him Yandy.
Everyone does, but it's probably Yandi.
I call him Yandy.
I always feel whatever my initial impulse is on a name, do the opposite. All right, first and third eligible in a lot of leagues.
Yep.
What's interesting about him, for the Rays, of course, what's interesting about him, he leads off versus lefties, hits 5th versus righties.
Right, out of the lineup today.
And
got pulled. Did he get hurt yesterday, or did he get pulled for defense?
Might have. I'm not 100%.
Because I just saw in the box score that he was out of the game and he's not playing today.
So this guy, his whole career, minor league career, been a high walk, low strikeout guy. And a low power guy.
This guy's such a weird case.
All things considered, low power guy. But we're getting the old launch angle change.
Right. Well, he's also, according to every update I read on him, he's yoked. Now,
he's not listed as a big.
He's listed at 6'2", 185, which isn't exactly yoked, but
I mean, if you're solid.
Every update, I haven't seen him without long sleeves yet. You know,
it's rocked up.
We're still in long sleeve season, so I don't, know what kind of arms he's got. But apparently he's yoked.
They play indoors.
Are they outside right now? Where are they right now? No, they're home. Yeah, well, maybe he wants to keep. Maybe he keeps the pipes.
If you want to intimidate the pitchers, he wants them to think he can groove one.
So he's yoked.
He always keep saying yoked. Let's set a record.
No, I'm not gonna.
All right, well, that's fine. But he's yoked. And the launch angles apparently changed. The switch from Cleveland. I always like this thing where it's like Cleveland was perfectly fine with worm, with
60% ground balls.
Yeah,
60% ground balls.
At no point did anyone in that organization say, you know what?
He's got a minor league career high of 9 homers.
Yeah,
and it's this is such an interesting case. He's hit 3 already, but I feel like we've seen.
But this is my Rays theory.
But we've seen that before, right? We've seen a guy have say 3 homers with a career high. This one's a little different because he's not tiny, right? Like he's yoked, well documented. He's yoked, and we're hearing this the Rays are working with him on changing his launch angle. To me, this is
well, the Rays every year they have a surprise 30 home run hitter, and I thought this year would be opposite.
That's why if he hits 20,
right?
If he hits 20, it would be such an interesting case for this.
But see, so this is the interesting thing, right? Given the corner infield positions, 20, that's kind of nothing.
No, it's nothing.
I mean, hell, it's not even that much from a second.
It's nothing. But supposedly everything else he did, I mean. He's high contact guy, doesn't strike out. So if he does hit 20 with all those other stats in the middle or top of that lineup, there should be runs, there should be ribbies there.
Right.
He supposedly can run a little bit. I don't know. He's never stolen really in the minors, but
well, he stole 11 in 2016. That's something. But yeah, he doesn't look like he's going to steal many bases, but he could just be one of those solid all-around players. I like him. To me, he's a guy to invest in. But yeah, it's tough to sacrifice homers at those spots if you're not getting steals too. So it's almost what is his real value?
Well, let me give you another comparison.
Yeah.
For a guy who was probably drafted, Yandy wasn't, I would assume. But now they could both be on waiver wire because this guy hasn't gotten off to a good start. But he's hitting the ball hard. Jake Bauers. Who would you rather have, Bauers or Diaz? Because I feel like Diaz has got the hot start and he's got that like stuff going, but I think Bauers might still be the guy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, Diaz can play third. Yeah, which could be a huge advantage. Right. But just apples to apples at first base, I'd probably rather have Bauers.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to put up more power number. He's definitely safer for that, and he's going to get might get you the 10 steals that Yandy probably not going to get you.
Yeah, a few more. All right, let's move on. Here's a blast from the past. Jason Hayward. Basically, right now, one game is almost his entire stat line, a 2-homer, 2-steal game. He had another good game in there too, but that's obviously the big one. But the overall numbers look pretty good for him. This guy's still 29.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like he's 35.
Well, I mean, he came up at what, 1920?
Yeah. But it just feels like this guy's been... It's just funny when you see some ages like that. Any reason to think, hey... He's figured it out?
No.
Or is this just
I'm not interested. I mean, he was going to hit. A
lot of people are picking him up.
He was going to hit 3 home runs at some point this year anyway, we think. So he happened to hit 2 in a game and 3 in a week and a half.
Right. Stole a couple of bases.
He bats 8th in the National League. Not overly interested in that. I mean,
yeah. No, I'm the same way.
I think I looked, and let me check again. I'm
you
pretty
have
sure
to be in a pretty damn deep league. 5 outfield for sure.
So his fly ball rate, so his fly ball rate is 50% right now.
Right.
But it's been 34, 32, 33, 23. So it's way up. I mean, small sample, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't think the 3 home runs is, I don't think, yeah, he's not going to hit 20
So
homers.
he's already attempted 2 stolen bases, had them both, same game. Last season, in 127 games, he attempted 2 steals.
Yeah, he must have ate his Wheaties that day or something. Something got in
this just screams fluke, screams cool. He had a good game.
But it's funny because it's not fluky in that he's some random guy.
Right.
Very popular name player, right?
Well, that's why I think people might be thinking I want to pick him up.
I'm not like when all's said and done, his stats in the outfield are going to be the same as guys that play part-time.
I mean, the last 3 seasons where he's played at least 126 games, all 3, topped out at 11 homers. He had 11 steals in 2016. In 17 and 18 combined, he had 5. I mean, it doesn't look like they're interested in him running. His top batting average is 270 in that span, which was last year.
There are going to be platoon outfielders that put up better stats.
Yeah, he's just...
Classic case of, but I'm going to get, this guy plays every day.
Right.
But, you can get a guy who plays 4 or 5 times a week, and he's going to pass him.
Not worth it. All right, a lot of injuries in Colorado. Open the door for different players. I mean, there's 5, 6 different guys. The 2 that have stood out to us a little bit, Josh Fuentes.
Jay Fresh,
good name. And then Mark Reynolds, we kind of talked about him last week already. I don't know. I mean, there's Tapia. I picked up Jonathan Daza for I needed a really cheap guy last night, and I think he had an offer for my DFS team. Didn't go well.
Tell me more about your DFS night.
People would like to hear about it.
One team? You're just doing one team a night?
I did last night. I think people are interested.
High stakes?
Not really.
No.
I'm dipping the toe in.
Okay.
I mean, what? It's the Rockies. They're in Colorado, so it's like you care, but should you? Is it worth caring?
No. I mean, I think depending on your lineup construction or your roto stats, maybe you grab Reynolds and play him certain times.
He didn't play last night, which I thought was really weird.
He can run into a few in Colorado and get hot if you need maybe a few homers in a month. I mean, none of these guys I think are go out, grab, and really enter in your lineup unless you're in a super deep league or you've got all kinds of injury problems. Jay Fresh's cousin is, by the way.
Who? Brian?
Arenado.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
It's random.
Yeah.
No, and it's like Hampson's not hitting. I think people kind of got excited about him with all the injuries. People are excited about him anyway. He can't hit. It just seems like this is someone will do stuff. This is just a DFS thing, right? You need a DFS value and you take a chance on one of these guys when they're at home.
Yeah, they might pop off at home. I don't think any of them have any like a high ceiling.
Fuentes is a little interesting when you look at the minor league numbers, and
but they also have a lot of guys they can cycle around. I mean,
just it.
They can play. You can play Tapia and Daza, and you can even move Desmond back to first if you want, which could bump Reynolds out. You could play Reynolds and one of the outfielders gets bumped, or there's Jay Fresh and Reynolds both fighting for first base. Like, I think it's going to be different guys in that lineup every day. I mean, McMahon's not going to be out forever.
Right. Well, Dahl says he's coming back soon.
Oh, yeah. I believe
find out.
It's a 5-day injury, but,
and Daniel Murphy's walking around with his proton pack.
Yeah, have you seen that?
His Ghostbusters.
Have you seen that yet?
Backpack.
I know I told you about it yesterday, but just backpack with a finger stimulator. Just weird. It's weird.
I don't know where you get that.
A lot of weird stuff going on in Colorado right now. Garrett Hampson can't hit.
Right.
I mean, talk about spring training sleeper gone wrong.
I don't trust any of those guys.
Yeah, and a lot of bodies there that I don't trust who's going to be in the lineup every day.
Right. All right, last one I want to talk about, Williams Astudillo, Twins. A guy I think a lot of people were like, well, yeah, if he plays, great. Love him as a catcher.
He's has a bit of a cult following.
He has big time cult following. Again, we talked about Vogelback, that body type you don't see. Astudillo is even weirder.
Got that Rich Garcia's body type.
And that's the stat line you never see. No walks, no Ks. Just a weird dude all around. He's been playing lately, last few games. First base, catcher, throw him at third. He's eligible at catcher only in some Yahoo. I think he's eligible at catcher and third right now. Might get that first base eligibility. He's not going to put up huge stats anywhere. He's not going to hit 30 homers, 25 homers, anything like that. I don't think he'll hit 300.
He hit 300 most years in the minors.
Well, yeah, no, he did because he just makes contact. He swings the bat. He's killing the ball right now. He 30 games last year. He hit 355. Maybe he can hit 300. From a catcher, that's huge. If he hits 300 with 15 homers, that's great stats.
Yeah. But they're carrying 3 catchers. I know they play him around.
I hate that we're still messing around with Jason Castro.
Yeah.
Pitch framing.
So, I mean, playing time, if you can get it, catchers is always weird, right? You take 4 good games out of a catcher.
But then it's like,
or do you want just
Sano comes back. That's one less spot that's available at all. And they're in an NL Park. They've been in NL Park, so that's taken Cruz. They've just haven't even bothered trying to put Cruz in the outfield at all or anything like that. So I don't know exactly what's legit if he's going to keep playing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as long as he's just not a total disaster, just put him behind the plate. You're messing around with some of these
managers. We've talked about this before. These managers that think the catchers are just, they run the whole game.
If you're the Yankees, you can say, you know what, I want a defensive-minded catcher. The Yankees obviously don't do that. But if you're the Twins, you need some offense from your catcher.
I don't know. They had 14 runs last night. They didn't need them.
Well, because their catcher was producing, Mitch Garver, and they had Austin D. They had them both in the lineup.
Did you consider playing Garver on any of your DFS teams last night?
I already talked about that. Yeah, you don't even listen. All right.
I think he would have been a good play last night.
He would have been. Not better than Jeff Mathis. All right. So as far as, we want to talk about guys you might be able to drop. I still think it's too early. But we are at that point, right, where if you took that late round flyer, a guy you were excited about, and he's not doing anything, you can probably drop him. I mean, everything's a case by case.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I don't know if we're past the point though.
Maybe or late round flyer on Lou Brinson. Maybe. Right. Maybe that the spring training stats not coming to fruition.
I had talked myself into him as on our home.
It's fun. I think he's hitting like 270. He's making some contact.
I saw he tried to steal a base the other day. I think he got thrown out, but he tried.
That's good of him. He tried.
He definitely tried. I mean, I like when guys try. We always talk about.
I love a good caught stealing.
Oh, I'm fine with it.
I love a good caught stealing.
It's interesting though. Like I was looking at some of like the batting average on balls and play numbers and some of the guys who are really low right now. There's like a Delino DeShields, right? Who's
senior or junior?
I'm pretty sure junior.
Cool.
I would assume. 105 BABIP, that's going to go up. You see Brian Dozier, 136. Jesus Aguilar, 138. There's some really good names. Obviously the ones like Acuna at 160, he's fine. No one's thinking about dropping him. But some of those other guys are the types of guys. Luke Voigt, 185, who maybe people are already thinking about dropping. I would at least look at those numbers first and say, okay, well, that's bound to go up to some degree, but it could also be this guy just isn't very good, and it's always going to be kind of low, and if he doesn't do anything. Voigt at least will hit you homers in the meantime. I think Aguilar hasn't done much of anything.
No.
God,
and, the dangerous thing about Aguilar is that they've got...
lose playing time.
Well, they've got other guys, and, they can play Thames against righties easily.
Yep. No, he could definitely lose playing time.
So we'll see how long.
Walks.
I mean, I wouldn't drop him, but you wonder how much patience they'll have with him. I mean, that's a first place team that they can't mess around.
And pitchers obviously at this point, it's so
you got to make a decision. Is this a long-term pitcher that I'm going to pitch most of the time, or do I just like his next couple starts and this guy should be on the waiver wire?
And again, you kind of look at the same thing where you kind of look at the I always like to look at the FIP ERA difference just to see what stands out, and there's a few where you see a noticeable difference in the positive and the negative, and a lot of them the FIP's still bad, but this early in the year, whatever, we're talking about 2-3 starts, if that even. So like a Freddie Peralta, 6.91 ERA right now, but a 4.19 FIP.
Right. Well, and that was all in one game, wasn't it?
Pretty much. That's like Lucchesi,
See, this time of year. Sorry to cut you off. For the pitchers, you can look at the stats, but I like looking at the game log too, because
for sure.
If he's got 2 good starts and 1 bad one, I like to just look at the raw game log.
But also, I think pitching, it's good to watch the game. Like I was watching Lucchesi last night, and there were some dinks and dunks, and then next thing it only takes like one hard hit ball amidst the dinks and dunks and the squeezing, and all of a sudden it's like 6 runs.
Yeah.
And, obviously his first 2 were so good. If you drafted him, you're not thinking about dropping him. But it's still like, okay, well, what if his next one's mediocre too? But you know what? He still looked good.
It does help to watch the games.
It sucks that it was against the Giants because that's a team you think he's going to mow against, in a good park. But still, this early in the year,
I'll give you a pitcher you can drop.
Yeah.
Matt Harvey.
What? Why was he on your team?
Well, auction league, had to settle for some dollar guys.
He's got a big difference,
The good news is, though, I actually haven't started him for any of his trash. He's been on my bench, but now he's
got one of the biggest differences between his ERA and FIP, but the problem is his ERA is 10 and his FIP's 7.
It's funny. He's throwing hard. He's throwing like 94, 95, but...
Better than Chris Sale. Yeah, I'm talking about Chris Sale.
We're not talking about Chris Sale.
I saw something where it was like it's like a lower third. Chiron was like, does Chris Sale need a break? What's going on? Didn't the season just start?
Not for them. His season starts in May, apparently.
Gosh, and then they're talking about the Red Sox. That took a lot out of them to make that run last year.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's been 5.5 months.
It's not that. There's other things going on. They suck right now, but...
Right.
And it might be a little, maybe a little under the whole World Series hangover. But can we not say it took a lot out of them? Like, they rested.
Right.
They rested.
That's a long time in between. All right, let's get to some streamers. This is your area of expertise.
Is it?
We're going to look at the next few days. It's tough this early in the year because there's still some weird off days. I think we're about over those now, right? Every team's had their home opener.
How about this? Red Sox week. They had Monday and Wednesday off.
Yeah.
How weird. Coming back from the West Coast, they needed the Monday, but then they needed the Wednesday for the day after home opener. What a weird week.
I don't like any of it. But I think pretty much next week we're pretty normal.
Yep.
Starting, but still some weird stuff. Some teams. I know there's like Brad Peacock. The Astros didn't need a 5th starter for like 2.5 weeks. Who even knows if he's going to be back in the rotation when they do need a 5th starter again? So lots of weird stuff. So it's tough to really plan ahead too much on streamers. But we did highlight a couple. So for Thursday.
Yeah, and I'm totally going more so like decent pitcher, but just bad offense.
Right.
And bad offense, good park, or bad park, depending on how you want to look at it. Go Mike Leake at Kansas City.
Right.
Kansas City is 27th in OPS and 20 or 27 overall, and
they're a little better against righties than lefties.
Yeah, but it's still lower third.
But not great.
It's lower third.
It's basically, if you can get through Merrifield, you're in good shape.
Yeah,
get through that Royals lineup.
That like bottom of the barrel OPS, bottom of the barrel OBP. Leake's been okay.
I mean, not a high ceiling guy, right?
No, but if you're looking for a win.
hoping
for a win.
You can never bet on a win.
Also, like John Gray.
Brett Peacock, I saw, or not Peacock, Doolittle, I saw is 3-0.
Yeah, but yet I can't like.
Bizarre, right?
That frustrates me in fantasy
you got a starter
so much.
when you can't buy a win.
Yeah,
he's striking guys out. Leak is this. I mean, it's 2 starts, whatever. Yeah. But that's always nice to see when not a high strikeout guy has a little bit of a strikeout pitch going early.
Right. Next guy tomorrow, Thursday. John Gray at San Francisco, basically looking for any opportunity to start someone against San Francisco, specifically in their park. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously they're going to score some runs.
But okay, he's a lefty. They're last in the league. I think I was looking at weighted runs created. It was either OPS or weighted runs created, and they're last against righties in the league. So
they're not a good offense.
They shouldn't be on paper.
You know, when you're going Pilar, Austin.
Pilar and Austin are big acquisitions.
Yeah,
that's rough.
So yeah, basically looking for any free agent streamer possibility against.
So you'd say right now, early in the going, that must stream against team. If you have to pick one, it's San Francisco.
Yeah, I think so. They've got the park in their favor. They're NL. You got the pitcher batting.
Yeah.
Their lineup is terrible. Yeah.
There's no one really. I mean, who?
The Marlins scare me more than they do.
I made it. I said you get through Merrifield with the Royals. Who even is that?
Well, it's like Mondesi can get you. Their running can get you
a little bit.
But
who is that for San Francisco?
No. Oh no.
Posey?
I mean, Posey's been terrible. Yeah. Belt's nothing special.
You're not scared of Longoria at all.
No. And I don't see them having got the thing with Kansas City. What can scare you is if you do put some runners on, they might run wild on you. Yeah. They might do some. There's no one on San Francisco that's gonna.
Yeah, Soler can blast one.
Yeah, there's no one on San Francisco that's gonna run or make something happen. I mean, they literally have to string 2-3 hits together.
Right.
To score off you. I mean, they did it. I didn't see the Milwaukee game last night. I know
or the San Diego game.
San Diego game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because Peralta got knocked around from Milwaukee too. But
the Angels.
I didn't see any of that. I know it was 6 runs in the first inning or two.
Right. Second inning, I think. Yeah.
But I mean,
there's a cue shot over the first baseman.
Listen, this is not a joke. Okay, I pitched Eric Lauer against them the other night, and the guy was the one thing that I was hesitant about, he was going against Bumgarner, not because I was scared of Bumgarner's pitching, because I was scared of Bumgarner's hitting.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Especially righty off a lefty.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? That might be. Bumgarner might get him.
Bumgarner coming up there twice a game.
But that's where we're at with San Francisco.
It's pretty ugly. Okay, so Friday. This is a weird one because I always remember the old, at TOR used to be really scary.
The old softball days.
Not scary anymore.
Not really anymore. I like to run out Yanni Chirinos from Tampa. Tampa's still being weird about their rotation.
Always.
They've got the 3 guys, Snell, Morton, and Glasnow, they're on their schedule.
Real starters.
Chirinos has started after them every time through, but they won't. They don't name him until last minute, and they're only going. They're going with the opener on the 5th day.
And is he gonna? Is it possible he doesn't start a game? If there's a team that starts, the 2 of their first 3 hitters are lefties. I'm not following it
so far.
That part
they've
of it
only
yet.
done the opener.
Yeah.
On the 5th day.
Okay.
But they won't name Chirinos a starter until 2 or 3 days before. So they're probably. Either they're not giving it, but he's pitched great. 2 games. He's pitched great.
So it's been good. So Friday, he's at Toronto. Toronto, I wrote down here, they have the worst batting average and 5th worst weighted runs created against righties this year. They're just, again, a lineup where you look at it and you're like, okay, well, they have hitters. I mean, they have some guys. It's not even Royals bad, at least perception-wise. But who really scares you?
Grichuk.
Yeah, that's not a guy you should.
I guess Smoke can run into one.
They can hit homers.
Yeah, but they're not. Well,
they're not really good hitters.
So
is the point. So if you have a decent pitcher,
so I'm pretty sure I did my research before their game was over. Yeah, before their game yesterday. Before that though, they played 11 games. How many runs do you think they scored in 11 games?
I don't know.
29.
I was going to say 25.
That's not even 3 runs a game.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Grichuk could run into one. They got guys who can hit homers.
Gurriel.
They're not getting on base.
They scored 7 yesterday.
They scored 7, but the Red Sox suck. So.
Oh, there you go. Defending world champs.
But I'm not scared of that offense at all.
Yeah, and at Toronto, I think it's a good hitter's park, but you can live with it.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for streamers here.
Right.
We're not.
So it's tough.
Yeah.
You're going to have to take chances. That's the bottom line. Saturday, we highlighted a guy because this guy was so weird to us.
Yeah.
Because we looked across Yahoo, ESPN, and CBS, and his ownership percentages varied wildly. If we were reading it right, and I think we were. You wrote it down, right?
Yep. So he's owned in 86% of CBS leagues.
Yeah.
66% of Yahoo leagues, but only 48% of ESPN leagues, which is weird.
So it just tells us that basically CBS featured him in an article at some point that was on the homepage of every league. I don't know.
If it's that simple.
But Zach Eflin's who we're talking about.
Yep. So he's kind of on the line of if he's still a streamer. I feel like he got picked up. Well, actually, this was a 2-start week. Did he throw Monday or Sunday?
I'm not positive. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, so maybe he was on a lot of teams because of 2-start week because he throws Saturday at Miami. He's been good so far this year. Been better than Pivetta.
I mean, he was one of the top,
Both of those guys were supposed to be
the sleepers.
So far, Eflin's been the better one. He's striking guys out at Miami. Doesn't really scare me. Nice big park. Philly's scoring a bunch of runs. So if I don't know if he's really out there in leagues, but
that's definitely one. Could be 10-team league. Probably is 12-team deeper. Probably not.
I know I missed a boat on him. I wanted him for last week. Yeah, and didn't bid enough for him.
Missed out. So yeah, we'll definitely be on the lookout more once these rotations get a little more settled and off days become a little more regular. We'll start seeing some.
Yeah, and the sources aren't agreeing either.
Right.
CBS, ESPN, MLB, they're not. Like I checked when I was looking yesterday, they all. They're not in line yet.
Some TBAs, some have the guy.
Lots of TBAs.
Were there any one site had one guy, another site had flat out a different guy, or was it always?
Yeah, I don't remember, but definitely different stuff coming off days.
Yeah, it's still weird, man. Early in the baseball season's tough to navigate.
I think it's done though. I mean, I think we're into. Well, today's weird. Like I said, the Red Sox are off today.
I've already lost interest now.
You already lost interest.
Well, I'm already out.
Why don't you play some DFS?
I tried to the other night.
Oh, you did?
Mitch Garver.
Oh, God. You must have won that. He had a big night.
I know. Believe me, I know.
But you're still here doing the podcast, so you couldn't have won that much.
Couldn't have won that much. All right, let's get to closers. Closer talk. Closer corner.
Love it.
This needs its own thing. Its own sting. All right.
We need someone to sponsor it. Sponsor that really hot closer talk.
The Phillies are. I don't even know what happened.
I think Gabe Kapler.
I go away for a weekend. I come back and
they've got 7 closers.
Pat Neshek back and
who's this Ramos character last night?
Yeah, Udubre.
Luckily, he didn't pitch well, so...
Is that... Well, I mean, isn't that funny, though? He's 1 out away, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden, we're like, is he the closer? He closed out a game. But no, gives up the dinger.
Yeah, so we're talking for Philly. We're talking Robertson. We're talking...
I guess.
Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Who throws in the 7th or 6th inning
We're talking Hector Neris.
Yeah.
We're talking...
Former closer. We're talking save.
Pat Neshek.
Gotta save.
And now we're talking...
Udubre?
Yeah. Ramos. I'll just call him Ramos.
Was in there last night. So
that's 5 guys.
What's really weird about this to me is Robertson, bad first 3 games, then settled down, had 3 straight scoreless. I don't know if those were very high leverage or anything, but 3 scoreless appearances. And now hasn't been anywhere near the mound. They've had some close games in there. There's nothing I've read about an injury. So I don't know what's going on, how you just sign this guy in the offseason, he's your closer, a couple bad appearances, but then seemingly rights the ship to some degree anyway.
I love these managers. They'll give hitters weeks to figure stuff out. And then you're just like... But, you sign a guy, like you said, in the offseason to be, I won't even call him closer, late inning guy, right?
Right.
8th or 9th inning guy, he's got history, a couple bad outings, and it's like, no, let's go to... Ramos.
And I think a lot of us, or a lot of people were like, well, Dominguez has the nastiest stuff.
If those 2 guys went back and forth 8th and 9th inning, we'd be annoyed, but I don't think we'd be frustrated, we go, well, right?
He's nasty. He has closer stuff. Why? And he's of all the guys we just mentioned, he's the one who hasn't had a safe chance that I can remember.
Well, it's that new multi-inning...
Right. So then you say, okay, well, Neris had the role for a while before. He's got nasty stuff, too. He kind of has control issues and problems, but he makes sense to me as a closer. Okay, we saw him get a save. All of a sudden, next night, it's Neshek. And I just don't even know. I just feel like right now, Robertson's the guy to own. Like, I feel he's going to get it back at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he didn't even get in the game.
Yeah, I'm still going to say Robertson and Dominguez, like, they're the best relievers there. And it's all you can do is kind of.
And it doesn't seem to be a righty-lefty thing, right?
No, and you know what? Honestly, like, it from a video game perspective, if you want to say, I'm putting my best reliever in against Mill, whatever.
High leverage.
I don't know. I mean, watching the Sox game yesterday, and maybe we can segue into them next because they have their own thing going on. And Dennis Eckersley's the color guy, and he was a closer. And he was talking about how when you do that in your bullpen, you never know when you're pitching. Like, it just messes with guys' mind. And I know you can say, well, they got to get over it. They got to figure it out.
You're getting paid millions of dollars, baby.
But you also need to put them in the best position to succeed, right? Eck was like, I knew in like the 7th inning whether or not this was going to be a game for me or not. Like,
well, who was it? Houston Street a couple years ago, who was basically like, if I don't have a defined role, I'm not coming to the ballpark. Like,
that's obviously you got to be a team player and all that good stuff. But from an organization point of view, from a manager point of view, I think it helps to put these guys in the best situation to succeed. And if you're, these relievers, like, it's cold. They got to stretch. They got to warm up. Like, if you know you're a 9th inning guy, you know when to start your routine. If you think you're an 8th or 9th inning guy and Skip's like, it's the 6th inning, let's get you. I don't know. Like,
Skip.
Part of me is like, this isn't a video game. Like, I think that these guys need more defined role. At least be like, look, you two are going to be in the 8th and the 9th.
Right.
You two are going to be in the 6th and the 7th. But this Philly stuff,
and if you can say, hey, righty, lefty, obviously you guys can figure that out amongst yourselves. So, so you mentioned the Red Sox. Everyone, it was Matt Barnes, right? And they obviously haven't had a lot of wins. So. Right. But then
he did nothing wrong.
Right. And then Brazier's gotten the last 2 save chances.
The only thing I'll say about these guys, at least right now, and they're not perfect, at least in this scenario right now, they're both pitching well.
Right.
The problem with some of these other situations is the guys aren't pitching well.
Right.
So if you put Barnes in your lineup, he's not going to kill you. Now, he might take a roster space, but he's going to get you some strikeouts. ERA and whip should be fine, and he'll get you some saves. Right. Same thing with Brazier. So at least in that case, they're both pretty good pitchers. They're not going to hurt you.
Right.
It's some of these other situations where you're chasing and you're potentially putting bad pitchers in your lineup.
That always makes it tougher. So with the Red Sox, who do you think, when it's all said and done, do you think it's just going to continue to be a committee? Barnes is a fireman. Maybe they put him in yesterday. They were down a run in the top of the ninth, which is sort of a closer spot, more or less. Yeah. And he gave up a run, and they didn't let him finish the inning, which I thought was kind of weird.
I really don't know. Like, I think they're more comfortable with Barnes going more than 1 inning.
Right.
But they also gave Barnes the first couple of save opportunities, or the first save opportunity, and he was fine. And now Brazier did get a late start in spring training, so maybe that was the reason, but
it doesn't seem like
I don't know. This seems very 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
But I'll say those are really the only 2 relievers in the Red Sox bullpen.
That's the big thing. So that's, you got that going for you. So the Braves, sort of out of nowhere, popped up. It's Vizcaíno. Minter started the year on the DL. Then he has a really bad appearance. I forget if it was Saturday or Sunday, where he gives up some runs. And it was a non-save situation, but he gave up some runs. And then all of a sudden, next save opportunity, I think Vizcaíno got a save maybe the next day. It was something like that. And then the day after that, Minter gets a save chance, just a flat out. And they were righties who were up, everything was normal. And and so I don't know what to make of this one. It's never really seemed like the Braves liked Vizcaíno that much.
But he's a righty. We know how managers feel about that.
And Minter's got nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It doesn't feel like this is going to be, I don't know. This feels more committee to me now. And I might actually lean a little toward Minter. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want Vizcaíno going back-to-back days.
Yeah, I mean, even that.
Back-to-backs.
But even that Vizcaíno bad game, he gave up a solo home run.
Right. Yeah, that blew the save.
He faced 4 batters, gave up a solo
Minter's
home run.
bad appearance was worse than that when he gave up, the go-ahead.
And that was his first run he's given up this year.
Right.
So, I mean, he's hardly done a lot to lose the job.
No, that's just it.
I'm going to file this one under straight-up committee manager feel right now.
I mean, because like I said, it'd be one thing too if that game where Minter got his save, it was like, well, two lefties were due up.
Right. But again, here's another one I think you can own. I think you can own both guys. They're worth both holding on to.
They're good enough.
I think they're good enough to start until you see more information.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to some of our favorites that we talked about last week. The Royals, the one thing we've come to is Peralta's out.
Yeah, he finally had a scoreless outing yesterday. It was I think it was the 8th inning, but they were down. I don't know, 3-4 runs.
Yeah,
it wasn't overly.
But he's
close.
not looking good.
No, he came in the other night, gave up a grand slam.
Managers don't like grand slams.
No, they don't. I think we're back. I think Kennedy. So Kennedy blew his first, well, not his first save chance. He blew his first save chance like as the new closer, right? Mm-hmm. So we were like, all right, they might go to someone else. But then Peralta had 2 bad outings. So I think Kennedy got the closer job back.
Who's sneaking up? With scoreless appearances? My boy Boxy.
Oh, Boxy. Yeah, Boxy's always in play.
Boxy's
I
around.
think Kennedy's back in by default.
I think he is too.
Because they're not
Boxy's around.
Boxy hasn't really been around save situation. He was in the 6th one game.
He'll be all right.
But my deep sleeper, Kyle Zimmer, came in. He walked the ballpark. Well, now he got shipped to the minors.
Now we know who the deep sleeper is.
Now the deep sleeper is Dick Lovelady.
It's Dick Lovelady.
Guys got nasty
I mean,
stuff.
that's one, when Dick Lovelady comes in, that's just straight up porn bass guitar, right? That's his closer entrance.
Him and Brooks Pounder in the same bullpen. Aaron Bummer. How about that bullpen?
That's the bullpen we don't deserve, but we need.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that. All right, the Marlins, their last save went to Adam Conley.
Yep.
Which, a lefty thing, right?
He had some preseason hype as a potential closer, but then he was coming in the 6th.
He was mentioned, and then he was coming in early, and then there's that one game where there was a lefty up to start, and they had Chen in there in the 9th to start the inning as the lefty du jour. So I don't know. Again, if we still force a gun to my head, Romo.
Yeah, I'm still on Romo. He's going to blow some.
This is a straight up. This to me is more committee than anything.
Yeah, I think Romo's going to get most of them.
Probably.
But I think Romo's going to blow a bunch. And I think that
I don't want him.
He's not going to run with the job. I don't want any of that stuff.
So that is what it is. But I mean, so it's like a guy like Conley. Do you own him? Like, is he worth owning? I mean, if you're really chasing, we've been there.
Oh, listen,
we're scratching for every save we can get.
I don't think so. I actually don't think so yet.
Man,
I don't think so yet.
You definitely don't need to own Steckenrider, right?
No, he's off. I mean, Conley's not a bad pitcher. It's just that problem, Philly, right? Like, that's a good team.
Right.
They're going to have,
Right, it's not worth it.
I was there with Miami last year with Barraclaw and Steckenrider, and the save opportunities are few and far between.
Yeah, and they at least had high strikeout potential, but Orioles, we've learned nothing.
All right, here's the thing with the Orioles.
Yeah.
And again, we have chased saves for many years. Many years, right?
Constantly chasing them.
This has got to be, I think this one is potentially the worst situation of all time.
Well then.
For a save chaser. Because, like we said last week, they had 5 saves, right? 5 saves, 5 different guys. Mm-hmm. They're just, you think Givens might be the best reliever. He's coming in whenever. Like, the team's not good. They're pitching 5 different guys in save opportunity. They're bringing Givens in the 7th and 8th. Mm-hmm. They're letting guys this is such a mess. And
they're not a good team,
right?
In a bad park.
Yeah.
The whole everything about it.
I think this is, of all of our years of chasing saves, I think this one might be I'd rather have Romo than any of these guys.
Well, yeah, I think that goes without saying.
Yeah. This is the messiest, worst situation.
I'd rather have every one of those Phillies guys we talked about than any of these Orioles guys.
Yeah. Do you think, I know you don't remember every closer we've ever chased, but situationally,
I've had some bad ones.
Situationally, though, can you think of all the pieces that can make anything a worse situation?
I can't ever remember getting involved in a 5-man. I've never been in a 5-way.
A 5-man, bad ballpark, bad team, and bad usage.
Yeah.
Situation. It's not like there's 5 guys we don't know who the closer is. They're bringing these guys. One night they're coming in the 7th. One night they're closing in the 9th.
Right.
And it's a five different guys.
Yeah, I've never done that. And I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound like my idea of a good time.
Yeah, I'm not chasing Baltimore.
I'm not chasing them either.
Can we pull 2 situations from last week off the board for now?
For now.
Can we say that Blake Parker, for now, is the closer in Minnesota? And can we say that Jordan Hicks, for now, is the closer in St. Louis?
Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah.
We can say that. I still think Minnesota's weird, but yeah, for now it's Park.
And I'm going to put on they need at least two, like they've earned enough where they need at least 2 blown saves to lose the job.
Maybe.
Their next blown one doesn't.
Probably.
Their next blown one doesn't lose them the job.
Depends how bad it is.
Yeah.
If like Parker really has a bad one, I could see him losing the job. But
he's been good.
Yeah, no, he's been pretty good. And Trevor May is still.
They brought him in early last night, but then they got him right out of there.
That's right.
They got the big lead.
Yeah, they got the big lead, and then they almost needed to bring in Taylor Rogers because Chase DeJong couldn't close it out with a 9-run lead or whatever he had, 10-run lead.
Is it DeJong or DeYoung?
Probably
because it's Paul DeYoung.
I know, but this one there's a space in between.
Yeah, guy in my league's got a pretty good team name with DeYoung. DeYoung and the Restless.
Oh, mine was only the good DeYoung. DeYoung and the Restless is good. I should put that on the team name list. I have to do that for next year.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Oh, I meant to mention this too. You remember, in the football podcast, we had always started by talking about things we were wrong about the week before.
Yeah.
I had a big one last week during the whole old Hesse talk.
Oh, old Hesse?
He only had thrown 6 1/3, and I kept saying he threw 7 1/3, and that very much changes.
Okay, in the 7th inning versus in the 8th inning.
That very much changes that whole conversation. Yeah. And when I saw that afterward, I felt bad.
Okay, well, that's more of a correction than a what I did wrong last week.
Yeah. I guess so. One thing we can say that I got wrong, or I've been wrong about so far this year, is how I was sort of down on Gary Sanchez. I think we both were the shoulder. We didn't trust it, and
how come all the guys Ozuna's got a couple dingers too, and he had a shoulder. We were like, it was like we learned last year with Chris Bryant. We were like, shoulder injuries for Power, bad, stay away. We're not doing that this year.
Gary Sanchez, it was what people they're like, wait, you just got to fix. He's fine.
You know what?
Though? Come on, it doesn't work that way.
It's Camden Yards against Baltimore.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on. Like I saw, who was it? This is a couple weeks ago now, and I don't think I used the joke in the podcast, but I think I used it just
saving material
with us. Mm-hmm. I think someone like a quad A type hitter had a homer or 2-homer game, and it was off. Might have been off like Cashner or something. I don't know. It was off like a retread pitcher, and someone tweeted out like, we always knew he could hit minor league pitching.
That's true. That's true.
That's just like I feel like Sanchez going yard at Camden. That doesn't really tell us much. Yeah,
it's an extended spring training.
It would have been nice if like Judge would have, but He
hit 3 of them though.
Yeah,
3 of them. He didn't just hit 1. That was sort of the killer.
The third one was like I don't know if it was wiffle ball or softball, but it was totally like the pitch had no chance of fooling him. Right. He was just sitting back on it, complete uppercut swing. He knew the fence was close, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm trying to hit a home run this time."
Right. Why not?
It wasn't launch angle. It was just like, no, I'm trying to hit a home run right now.
Why not?
Yeah.
They always say don't do that, but I think sometimes you should do that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right. That about wraps it up this week. Like I said, once we get more on this regular schedule and we get a little bigger sample size, we'll start evening it out.
We're trying to get past our Super 2 status.
It's still,
we got to get, once we get past our Super 2, then we can
It's still kind of silly season in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, just in terms of trying to handicap stuff, and then
I still have one more milestone I got to get past. I'm gonna be on vacation in a couple of weeks, so I can't completely get into baseball until I get back from that.
Right,
I feel like that's still gonna throw me off a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, college basketball's over. Playoffs are about to start another sport, so that'll sort of maybe be a distraction, but.
NBA playoffs.
Yeah, it's very much NHL too.
We got the challenge tonight.
Well, that's the real deal, obviously, that we'll be paying attention to. Most people will be. But, now it's like, okay, baseball.
We got that big Canelo fight coming up in a few weeks.
On the zone?
Yeah.
Correct. People got to watch
You didn't do any change-up promos today.
I didn't do any change-up promos today. We laid it on thick last time.
Did we?
Early on.
You've been watching, though.
I watch every night.
Yeah.
I just, again, second screen it, put it on mute, boom, it's there. I saw the Harper homer last night live. I think the Robles homer they had live last night.
You think like the production room over there, like you think they totally get off when they go to a game for like a Harper at bat and he treats him to a live dinger?
400.
Like you think there's high fives getting thrown around in the production room?
That's the dream. You don't want to go to those. They didn't go to the Mitch Garver dingers. Yeah. Actually, they might have had the first one. Now that I think about it, because the one co-host loves the Mets, and they were talking about the Mets, and then so I might have gotten that first Garver live.
Yeah,
but not the second one.
Do you think he gets to just like? You think he just demands that they go to like every Alonso at bat?
I think so.
Probably.
And then it was DeGrom pitching, so it wasn't even a bigger deal. But it was all good. And I know the gal who does the later portion of the show, she's a Rockies fan.
Okay.
Again, I see this all on mute, and they're flashing a graphic. How worried are you about the Rockies? And I'm like, yeah, she's a Rockies
Think she knows
fan.
Jay Fresh?
She must. I'm sure she'd love that we coined that nickname. But so we'll be back next week. We'll have more stuff. We'll see which bullpens have imploded. I'm sure one will implode tonight before this even gets posted.
Are you gonna not? We're just having a meeting right in the middle of the podcast. But are you gonna? I thought you were gonna try and field some Twitter questions for us.
We will. Yeah, we'll definitely start doing some different
What's the
stuff
Twitter
and
handle?
Getting people is at SN_fantasy.
Do you know your own Twitter handle for?
They're at SN Fantasy or at _fantasy.
I'm trying to get us some engagement.
Yeah, well, you should have talked about that ahead of time, so I made sure I knew the Twitter handle. But we'll get that figured out by next week. That'll be the big thing.
A couple of pros here.
Couple of pros. SN_fantasy.
All right, hit us up on Twitter.
At SN_fantasy.
Let us know if you're listening.
Yeah. All right. So, for I'm Matt Latewski. Thanks for listening, and until next time.